Okay, hello, Mr. Hooman. I hope I said that correctly. So let's get into our review of what we did today. So first off, we are going to do those little nimble exercises for our fingers to get them more dexterous, okay? So like you can use your pick or your thumb, for example, and you're gonna hold the guitar at an angle like this. So remember, you wanna cock your elbow out. You don't want it to be like, you know, inward towards your ribs. You want to let it stay out. You can elevate your left foot. Don't forget, you can do that with like a peanut jar or just something that you can just raise up your foot on, okay? So that being said, you have your hand like this at a nice little angle. It's going to be comfortable. You're going to arch your index finger over on that one, and so make sure you can do those kind of little taps that I was telling you about. That, okay? And you're going to pluck the first string and you're gonna hammer on there. So that's like, well, I guess the first one you can do is just like the simple one of just put your finger down, pluck it, put your middle finger down, pluck it, and remember, be behind the fret, not on it, because on it sounds like this. Behind it will sound like this, okay? So just behind the fret, just behind the fret. Go backwards, pinky to ring, to middle, to index finger, okay? So now we're gonna do the little hammer-ons that I was telling you about. So this one is where you're gonna pluck and hammer on. So it'll be like this, pluck, and then hammer it on, and you leave it on so you get that nice tonal difference, okay? So pluck again, do it open, hammer on. Now we're gonna leave that one on, and you're gonna hammer that one on, the same string, but the second fret, okay? So pluck, hammer on. Now we're gonna leave that one on. You can take this one off. I do encourage over time, we will try to leave all four down, but just one at a time is good for now. So leave your middle finger down and hammer on your ring finger, like that. Now leave your ring finger down and hammer on your pinky. Okay, so now we're gonna go backwards. So these are called pull-offs. So you're gonna leave both of those down, and you're gonna pluck, and then pull that one off, okay? So you can do it up here, right here, and leave both of them down. And make sure you have enough time difference. Don't go like that. You want it to be like that. So you can either dig in like that, or you can just pull off like that, okay? Or lift off. So there's lift off and pull off. So now let's move on to the ring to the middle finger, because remember, the pinky and the ring are the weakest links. So now we're gonna do ring to middle, like that. And now we're gonna do middle to index, and then index to open. Okay, so that being said, you're eventually gonna be able to do it about this quickly. But that takes time, okay? So now I want you to try to do it on the second and third string. You don't have to do all six. We'll get to that eventually, but at least try it on the second string, in the very least. So you'll pluck, 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 and then pull-offs. And feel free to pause the video at any time and just see if you can do it on your own. Like, you don't obviously have to go straight through the video, okay? And this is what the third string should sound like as well. And my thumb is supporting, so remember I told you that little muscle will engage, so you're gonna actually have grip there. So don't worry about the other strings yet, because those are a little bit more arduous. So now we're gonna move into the phantom exercise that I told you about, and that's the one where you do it like this. Sorry. So then you're gonna do the same thing with the middle finger. Do like multiple taps. Try to not look. And then try to do one each. And then same thing with the ring finger, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and do those. You don't have to worry about the pinky so much because the pinky is not really one to be all over the place like these first three are. Okay, so now we're going to move into the chords. So like we were doing today, there's only two reasons why a chord or a string will not make a noise or a good enough noise, and that's either lack of pressure or interference, okay? Excuse me. Okay, so your pinky on the first string, you want to get as close to the fret as possible, okay? Second string with the ring finger. Your middle finger will be on the 6th string. So remember, Easter bunnies get drunk at Easter. This is the first string, this is the 6th string. So your pinky is on the little E, ring finger's on the B, middle finger on the 6th, index on the 5th. Now, this see how my fingers are all curved like that? None of them are flat. You want to make sure they're always curved because that will make sure you don't have any interference. Now, because you've got big man hands, your man hands, you might have to hyper extend your middle finger more than like mine, because mine I can use the tip of my finger, but you might want to be a little bit hyper extended from it, so like a little bit further up, but just make sure that your it's not interfering whenever you get to this part. So see, I'm trying to give you a good view. Okay, so just make sure you have each individual string resonating. So try to go through each one. And if you have any of them that sound like this, or so usually that one's lack of pressure. I mean, because it's the 6th string, there's not going to be anything interfering with that one. So that one's definitely going to be lack of pressure if it doesn't sound good. The 5th string could be two things. It could be interference with the middle finger being flat like this, or it's just interfering because it's fleshy. Or it could be lack of pressure on your index finger if this one is out of the way and you don't feel any vibrations. Because usually if it's interfering, you'll feel a vibration in the finger that's interfering. So, okay, and then the next string. Now the strings that don't have any fingers on them, they could have interference because either the ring finger is touching the 3rd string above it, or it could be the index finger is too flat and it's hitting that one. Now granted, you do not need all 6 strings to resonate all the time, because I'll show you proof. So I'll do the little strum pattern that we did just for evidence. So see, I'm flattening my fingers so you can kind of see. Now I'll play them individually so you can hear how it sounds. So those two right here are not really resonating very well. But you can't really tell. So it's okay if you don't have every single string resonating all the time. Just know it will take time in order to get that perfection. So now we move on to the E minor 7. So that is the 1-finger switch chord where we move the middle finger underneath the index finger into the 2nd fret. So see, 1-finger switch. So you've got that going. So that's 6 strings as well. Go through each individual one to see if it's interference or lack of pressure. These should all really just be lack of pressure, except for maybe that one middle string that doesn't have a finger on it. So like, or that one, there's no finger on that one. So if that one doesn't resonate, it's totally okay. Just make sure you have the majority of them, like at least 4 out of 6. Sounding really good, okay? So that is the 1-finger switch. So try practicing that going from G, E minor 7, 1, 1, 1 switch, 1 switch. Just going back and forth, and try to do it without looking as best as you can. And then try to do a strum, just 1 down strum. And by that, I am doing it with the back of my index finger and my middle, or just the one. Slow motion, I'm just kind of like doing this. And then you can also use your pick. I don't have a pick nearby, or otherwise I'd show you, but you can also use your pick. So just do like 1 down strum to 1 down strum, just to switch back and forth to get that familiarity, get that muscle memory down pat a little bit more. And switch, and switch, and switch. And trust me, it's okay if you're not going that fast. Just try to do your best to switch from one to another. I'm just showing you for the sake of time. Okay, so then go back to the G. Now we're gonna do the 2-finger switch, which is the C add 9. So here, down 1, down 1. Okay, so that is your C add 9, and that's where the little phantom exercise will come in handy. So you just go down 1, and try not to do them both at the same time until you feel comfortable, because sometimes you end up putting them both on the same string. So you want to make sure it's down 1, up 1, up 1, over and over until you get that feeling back and forth. Kind of sounds cool. Okay, so then you do the same thing that you did for the G to E minor. This is going to be the G to C add 9, and the C add 9 you will not hit this string. That's pertinent later on more than right now, so if you happen to hit it right now, it's okay, but it does sound wonky if you hit it with it, so listen. See? It just doesn't sound as good versus just those 5 versus, right? So the G, all 6, then you get to the C add 9, 5. Now I am playing with just the back of my thumb just to really feel each individual, okay? So for that being said, practice that 1 strum each, and then the other one was the D chord, which is the most difficult one, but it's a 3-finger switch, and you did such a great job today pulling off all of these chords. I was really so proud of you. You were like, don't have any expectations, and I didn't, but you really blew me away with how quickly you're picking this up. So now for the G to the D, your middle finger all the way. That's the first one you want to move because it has the longest journey. So all the way to the first string, to the little E where the pinky is on. Then your index travels down 2 strings, then your pinky comes off. That's the last one. You want to do the same movement over and over because that's how you will get that muscle memory really embedded in your mind. So G, travel all the way down, excuse me. Whew. I swear it's not COVID. Okay, so all the way down, 3rd string, pinky off. And then you're gonna add the pinky, migrate that middle all the way to the 6th string, index to the 5th, okay? Back and forth, middle, index, pinky. Then add pinky to the middle to the index. So try to practice that over and over until you get that familiarity, and then you can start moving them a little bit more quickly all at the same time, but that of course takes time. So now do 1 strum each, and you're doing 1 string at a time as well. Now for the D, you start from the A down as well, from the A string down. Because the D chord is D, F sharp, A, there's no E in it. So this is an A, there's a D, there's a A, that's a D, and that's an F sharp. So you got those right there. And we'll talk about notes way later. It's not pertinent to know right now. So now that you've got all these chords familiar with the review, then you start to do the down, down, up, up, down strum pattern that we were talking about. So with that, starting on the G, you'll do down, down, up, down. So sorry. So your arm is like a pendulum. You're constantly going to be moving it in this motion. There's never going to be a moment of rigidity where you're like tripping over yourself. It should always be this fluid movement. Okay, so right here from the G, you're going to go down, down. Now try to do it 2 times back to back just so you can get that repetition feeling. So ready, go. Now try to do it 4 times. So ready, go. So now that you've got comfortable with that, now you have to learn how to switch from chord to chord, 1 strum measure per chord. So the 1-finger switch is the easiest one to start with. So you're gonna go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. So let's give that a try. Ready, go. Down, down, migrate grade it underneath that index finger. Even scooting that index finger back will help. And then strum all 6. Down, up, down. And migrate it back up and over, and then strum again. Migrate it back. Now here I'm going to do it smoothly. So if you feel like you want to go ahead and pause the video and try to go back and forth and then come back and see if you can keep up with me, I'm going to keep the same pace, but switching back and forth without stopping. So ready, go. Pause the video, rewind if you need to go over that again. There's also 3 dots up here, and you can pick playback speed and you can slow it down. It'll of course slow down my voice as well, but if you want to slow it down if I'm going too fast, or if you want to speed it up and you want to go faster, you can have that option. So now let's do the 2-finger switch. So G to C add 9, boom, 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 boom. So remember, don't try to do one at a time, but if you've already practiced this and you feel comfortable enough, go ahead and do it like this. So now, now we're gonna do the same thing we did with the E minor 7. So start from the G, ready, go. Down 1, strum from the 5th string down, or as best as you can. If you strum from the 4th string down, that's also okay. So ready, go. Down, up, down, migrate, up, go. Down, down, migrate, down. Okay, so pause the video, practice that, and now when you pick it back up, I'm going to try to play it. Or I'm going to play it, and you're going to try to keep up with me. So ready, go. Okay, great job. Now we're going to do the G to the D, the 3-finger switch. So you've got your G, again, middle finger, index, pinky, and back and forth. So let's give that a try. So ready, go. Up, down, middle, index, pinky off, go. Down, add pinky, migrate middle, add and bring the index and go. Up, down, middle, index, pinky, go. And then now let's try to do it without pauses. So ready, go. Okay, if you successfully got through that, I'm super proud of you. That is a really arduous, difficult task to do for someone early on in guitar. But I have full faith in you because you did such a great job today. So now, with that being said, we practiced from the G to each one. Now on your own, practice starting from the E minor 7 to the G, E minor 7 to the C add 9, E minor 7 to the D, and then starting from a different spot, C add 9 to the G, C add 9 to the E minor 7, C add 9 to the D, and then you start from the D, D to G, D to E minor 7, D to C add 9. Okay, so that's on you to practice on those, and I hope it's not too taxing for you to be inside while you're in Florida practicing on these, but I hope you're going to enjoy it, and it's going to be super fun whenever you start putting all these together. Wagon Wheel, that's what I was going to show you. Okay, so Wagon Wheel has all those 4 chords. There's so many songs that have those 4 chords. So what I was wanting you to do, in case you've already practiced all that and you're bored already, this is Wagon Wheel, doing all those 4 chords, but in very repetitious way. So I'll go ahead and play it for you, and then I'll break it down. So it starts on the G. Ready, go. was giving it a little bit of a flair at the beginning, so I tried to take away my little flair, like hidden down pines thing. It's annoying, I know. Anyhow, so it is G to the D to the E minor 7 to the C add 9, then it's G to the D to the C add 9 twice with that exact same strum pattern you already know, and that's what repeats. G, D, E minor 7, C add 9, G, D, C add 9 twice. G, D minor 7, C add 9, G, D, C add 9 twice. So if you can get used to that, the only times it changes are whenever it's just like one strum, then one strum, then E minor 7, one strum, then C add 9, one strum, and then just the same exact pattern, just one strum each, then C add 9, one strum, then down, down, up, up. And that's for the bridge, when he's like heading down south. Out of Roanoke, I caught a truck, had Philly, had a nice long took. So just try practicing that sequence of chords, and you'll already know how to play a song at that point. So G, D, E minor 7, C add 9, G, D, C add 9 twice. I'll play it one more time just so you can have something to go over again. So ready, go. On that, and I hope that will give you enough stuff to work on. So, okay, great job, and I will see you next week. Bye!